I'm a man who's been described as many things. I've been described as a lanky ginger prick in glasses. I've been described as an annoying Harry Potter looking ass in this channel's very own comment section. And I've been described as a man who looks like his wife is a Brazilian, only marrying him for a visa. And yeah, 3 years, still going strong. But one thing I've never been described as is boring. After all, is this boring? Is this boring? What about this? Does this look boring to you? Let me tell you, this guy, he ain't boring. Look, wrestling doesn't have to be boring is what I'm saying. Here's Finn Balor, wrestling a dinosaur. I'm Adam Wilbur from What Culture, and these are the 10 most boring wrestlers of 2022. Number 10, Dolph Ziggler. I'm only kidding. Got you again, Dolph. Thanks for watching the video, though, and looking forward to seeing you tweet about this in 7 years' time. In reality, number 10 is Ronda Rousey. Yep, starting off this list with a big one. Ronda Rousey was a lot of things during her first run with WWE, but boring was not one of them. And yet, since her return this time around at the 2022 Royal Rumble, to be fair to a huge pep, it's all fallen a bit flat, hasn't it? Yes, she's wrestled matches with an arm tied behind her back, and she had some rippers against Charlotte Flair, although who doesn't? After that, it's just been a bit meh. I mean, yes, feuds with the likes of NATALYA, Liv Morgan and Shotzi probably haven't really helped, and I do think there is something in pairing her with Shayna Baszler, but let's not forget, this is the woman that many people assumed would main event one of the nights at WrestleMania when she fights, presumably, Becky Lynch at next year's show of shows. Right now, does that feel like a main event? She just feels someone like kind of playing pro wrestler, and the MMA edge to her has kind of disappeared. Tell you what you need to do, Ronda. Kick off 2023, rather than popping a party popper, pop a few arms out their bloody sockets. I miss badass Ronda. Number 9, Hook. Oh good, this is gonna go down well. Is this still the thumbnail? Yeah, oh good. And the comment section, dumpster fire, jolly good. Yeah, look. Don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of Hooks, and I think the start of this year was really quite good for him, and I think he's got huge potential, obviously, going forward, especially when you consider who his dad is. And I do like the kind of quiet, brooding charisma that he exudes. But beyond winning the FTW title and being in wacky tag teams with the likes of Danhausen, and he did team with Action Bronson, I didn't dream that, didn't he? Yeah. What else has Hook done? I love a good squash match, but he's kind of just been marooned on Rampage doing weird mini feuds with the likes of the Trustbusters and kind of just treading water for the second half of this year. Look, I'm not saying Hook suddenly has to start working 60-minute epics, but he needs to do something. Less crisps, more fists. Someone should put that on a t-shirt. Number 8, Baron Corbin. Oh, I'm already starting to feel pretty bad about this list, and we're only at number 8. Look, remember everyone, this is just a subjective take, and I think that at least, yeah, over half of this list aren't inherently boring wrestlers. They've just been booked to be insanely dull this year. We met Baron Corbin over WrestleMania weekend. He was a lovely bloke, and he's weirdly feuded with Andy Murray on Twitter about steak for some reason. But he did not deserve to have the balls cut off his finisher by Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the sake of a feud that actually boiled down to swords cutting ropes and making them explode or some bollocks. Anyway, after that he had kind of a feud with Madcap Moss. He got hoid in the cock by Pat McAfee at SummerSlam, and now he's stuck pretending to be a wrestling god. This is the guy who did the whole happy, sad, broke Corbin stuff in 2021. So he's still clearly got something about him. Those acting chops are still there, but not if he's forced to hang out with JBL. No one deserves that kind of punishment. Number 7, Shinsuke Nakamura. Be honest, the bloom came off Shin's WWE rose a few years ago. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. We've seen glimpses. He is still capable of having absolute banger after banger after banger, to steal a phrase from Sheamus. It's just, a lot of the time, he's not that bothered, if he's truly honest. There was fun stuff with Rick Boogs as a tag team until Rick's unfortunate injury at WrestleMania, and that robbed us of the summer of Boogs. Can't wait till that guy comes back. But after that, he's, yes, fought Gunther for the IC title and inexplicably become friends with Hit Row for a week, but what else has he done? If it feels like I've just phoned this entry in, that's because that's what he's been doing for the majority of this year. Next. Number 6, Jake Hager. He really likes that hat, and you know what? I can relate to that. Look, can silly little incidental gimmicks get over in wrestling? Yes, of course they can. Is this going to mean that Jake Hager gets a huge push as we head into 2023 in AEW? No. Especially because also he's had, wait a second, one singles win this year in 2022 at time of recording. It was over Bryce Donovan on the 22nd of November edition of AEW Dark. Look, Jake Hager's job in the Jericho Appreciation Society is to stand around looking mean, to bail his mates out of trouble when they get into it, to be Jericho's bodyguard basically, and to talk about how much he likes hats. Not exactly been a Sami Zayn year for him, has it? Number 5, The Miz. Right, I have been one of the staunchest defenders of The Miz here at What Culture Tower. You should hear what the rest of them say about him out there, but he has been a bit boring this year. It's been a real up and down year for him because he's had some great stuff in 2022. I will say that. I enjoyed his feud against Edge and Beth Phoenix when he was there with Maurice, although, God, does that mean it's been a year of tiny balls stuff? Jesus Christ. Anyway, he obviously did the stuff with Logan Paul at WrestleMania and SummerSlam, although let's be honest, it was mainly Logan Paul carrying that for either good or bad reasons. Then again, I think Logan Paul might be my Rookie of the Year, so yeah, I'm gonna give the W on that one to Logan Paul, despite the weird sort of baby face turn Miz did at WrestleMania to set up the match at SummerSlam. Anyway, since then, he's been in a feud with Johnny Gargano, sort of, and Dexter Lumis. Do you know how long that's gone on for? 4 months! He was first kidnapped by Dexter Lumis in goddamn August. And at time of recording, they have had one match. It went 9 minutes, and it was fine. It's just been a strange year for The Miz and his tiny balls, one of which I've got here. Look at how small his ball is, huh? Number 4, Dexter Lumis. Yeah, you might have guessed this was coming as well. Look, disregarding the whole babyface serial killer aspect of Dexter Lumis, he isn't exactly the first person I would have thought of when someone told me Triple H is taking over WWE and bringing his guys in. Neither would have top dollar, but to be honest. But anyway, here we are. Like I say, he's had a 4-month feud with The Miz that's featured one match. And as much as I did actually genuinely enjoy the weird sort of home invasion thing, but he was employed by The Miz, I neither know nor care. At the end of the day, when you watch a wrestling show, the people you watch eventually have to get in a ring and wrestle, and Dexter Lumis is dull. He's as dull as balls. He's as dull as The Miz's tiny balls. It all comes back to it, huh? Number 3, Natalya. Hey, remember this year when they tried to have ditzy newcomer Aaliyah, who's been in WWE since Breaking Ground was a thing, try and get a bit of momentum by beating the boat Natalya, who for some reason was banging on about world records. That was one of the only feuds Natalya had this year. The other one was a world title feud with Ronda Rousey, and genuinely, gun to my head, I could not tell you a single moment, story beat, or move in the match aside from probably a poorly executed sharpshooter that happened in that feud with Ronda. Look, Natalya is someone who, if I'm perfectly honest, I kind of skip if I'm watching wrestling because they've done everything with her. I'm sure she is invaluable behind the scenes. She's incredibly talented and I'm sure can give out so much veteran advice to this ever-expanding women's roster in WWE. It's just, yeah, she's done everything in WWE, including some pretty bad stuff involving a table. Number 2, Tamina. Then again, Natty is Roman Reigns compared to Tamina. I mean, what has she done this year? She's just a default tag team partner when you need a bit of muscle in the women's division. And I'm fairly certain she did some stuff involving the 24/7 championship, Akira Tozawa, and a wedding or something. But I Men in Blacked that out of my brain at the end of this year because I just don't care whatsoever. She was, and I think this is the only person this can apply to, she was genuinely better off when they had her doing that weird karaoke segment on SmackDown when everyone was stuck in due to the pandemic. I would rather watch this guy in a wrestling ring than Tamina. Ain't nobody meaner than Tamina. Number 1, Matt Hardy. Straight out of the gate, I was a huge Matt Hardy fan growing up. Loved the Hardy Boys, was very pissed off when Edge stole Lita from Matt Hardy and all that stuff. Loved all that, yeah. But it does pain me to say this, but I think it's true that Matt Hardy was without doubt the most boring wrestler out of AEW and WWE in 2022. How did this happen? He was one of the hottest free agents in 2020, and yet here we are. He also had a bit of potential towards the beginning of this year. Jeff Hardy was going to join Matt in All Elite Wrestling. We were going to have a Hardy Boys reunion, although I don't think they were allowed to be called that, were they? But they were going to do all this stuff together, and then that obviously didn't exactly go to plan. Subsequently, we've had Hardy family office stuff, the push-pull of private party Andrade gets involved, and now apparently the firm owns Hardy or something. I genuinely could not give less of a toss. It's been so boring watching Matt Hardy this year, and it shows no signs of changing as we head into 2023. I will say there was one bright spot, and that was Jeff Hardy dancing to the ring whilst his brother's getting his ass kicked. So I suppose technically that's a Jeff Hardy thing, so still 0 things for Matt Hardy to be happy about this year. Fingers crossed for, hang on, how's he? Fingers crossed for next year, Matt. Please. And that is our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Look, it's just been a bit of fun at the end of the year. Don't take it too personally, but if you want to let us know your thoughts, you can do at What Culture WWE, or you can follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn, where it's never a dull moment. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.